Hello and welcome to episode 2 of Ciara Barsotti is Alive. I explained what the title was all about in the last episode, so I will let you go back there if you missed that. It's been a couple weeks since I recorded. I have completed something already. This is my, trying to sit up awkwardly in my chair here, my big rocking recliner chair. My boatnet Batwing by James N. Watts. It is super cute. I love it. It'll go with lots of different tops, and I'm excited to wear it over things in cooler weather as well. My cat is here. I'm going to try to get comfortable again. My body is broken. I stubbed my toe really bad. Like, I think it might be broken. But it's my pinky toe, and I'm like, no one's gonna. Don't rub your head on the tripod, please, cat. Say hi to the people. Say hi, wee wee. I know that the treatment for broken pinky toe is just give it time. So, yeah, it's still hurting me. It's kind of annoying. It's an annoying kind of pain. I can still run and work out. It's just when I like strain it certain ways that I notice it. If I'm like barefoot and like adjusting and curling my toes weird to get into position, then I notice it. So I noticed it just then. Oh, I apologize for the state of my hair currently. It's a mess. That's okay. I did a photo shoot with it looking like this anyway. Of my new boatnet Batwing. James and Watts is having a mesh knit along right now. This top took me, I think I started it the day before I recorded my last episode. So, we're like, yeah, it took me less than 2 weeks. Cat, will you please settle down? Sir! You can't really see him, but he just goes back and forth and back and forth. Please stop. Please just settle down. I haven't been able to like take deep breaths for the last couple days because I threw out my back a couple days ago. Feeling a lot better today, but I was doing good mornings at the gym and doing lightweight lots of reps and did something to my back, pulled a muscle. It didn't really, I was like, oh, that kind of hurts by the end of it. I'm like, oh, I'm a little sore. Maybe I pulled a muscle or something. And it just got progressively worse throughout the day. And then I was like a crippled old man yesterday. It's kind of hobbling around the house. And hi, wee wee. Hi, William Blake. And, but feeling a lot better this morning. So I just took it real easy yesterday. Did a lot of heat, and I have a little CBD solve stick, icy hot basically, and aspirin, lots of aspirin yesterday. And just trying not to overdo it today or tomorrow, which sucks because I've got things to share with my PRs, my personal records, in the body mod section of today's podcast. So I'm going to talk about knits. I'm going to talk about art. Oh, I completely forgot I'm always missing something. That's okay. I'm going to talk body mod, all the weird stuff going on with my body. I'm going to talk about my goal to buy less, successes and fails, consumer report, and who you should check out next. So, when this episode is done. So, yeah, so knits. I was pretty devoted to getting this finished for the knit along, although I have plenty of time. I think there's another month for the knit along. This is the boatnet Batwing, which I can't say 5 times fast at all. It's in silk. It's in a cruelty-free silk. Usually when they harvest silk from silkworms, the worms become a casualty of that process. But cruelty-free silk, they harvest the cocoons after the worms have left. So like most things that are cruelty-free, it just requires a little bit of patience and consideration. Not astronomically different than it needs to be. Yeah, and it's knitting for Olive in the color Pea Shoots. And I really enjoyed knitting with it. I have some Kotlin on the way for another project, which is cotton linen from Knit Picks. And I am not so sure how I feel about that. So, I don't think it's going to be quite as nice to knit with, but we'll see. Silk is great. I really enjoyed working with this silk. So, yeah, and then another project I had started while I was waiting for this yarn to show up. I don't remember if I showed this to you guys at all, but this is the Cider sweater by TinCanKnits. Yeah. This is a good, because I started the repeat on this side. You can see the repeats are coming together. Cable knitting, it has clicked in my brain now. It's very easy. I'm doing it without the pattern and without a cable needle. The yarn I'm using for this is Sweet Shop Yarns, I believe, which is a Humboldt sheep farm and mill. I don't know. They process their yarn, I guess. It's like sheep to skein, natural fibers, I believe. The two bundles I got seemed like they were natural, no dye. So anyway, making my son a little Aran sweater using the Cider pattern by TinCanKnits. And it's a DK weight and it's sheepy. Oh, it smells so good. I love that sheepy barnyard smell. So that is what I have been working on knit-wise. I will be talking about what is needle adjacent, aka coming up. Oh, there's Abraham. We have a blue jay that I have named Abraham, who visits the yard. He drinks out of our fountain. He and his little wife Sarai. They come and eat peanuts. I put shelled unsalted peanuts, not shelled, in shell unsalted peanuts out in various places in our yard, and they come and eat, and I am going to befriend them by the end of the summer and have them eating out of my hands. That's another random goal I have. Yeah, so on to art. I will be talking about what needle adjacent, what I've ordered yarn for, what is coming up next in my project queue. But I'll save that for my buy less goal. My buy less fail. So art, I did make another Oracle deck, finish another Oracle deck piece, which of course I left in my office across the house. I'm not going to get up and get it. I'll probably show you them all when they're all finished, because I'm hoping they will all be finished by the time I record episode 3 in a couple of weeks. But that one is of a bighorn sheep in like a red canyon. So I think that turned out really cool. And one that I have underway right now is of hoodoos, which are rock formations formed by air, wind, and rain and erosion. They look like little people, or like, you know how when you take wet sand and you like make little wet sand piles, they kind of look like that too. Yeah, they're cool. They're all over the place. Bryce Canyon is famous for them in Utah. Anyway, so that's what I'm working on the Oracle deck. Exciting progress on my sketchbook project. I started my sketchbook. It is also a bullet journal. Let's see, I'll give you a little brief, hold it back here. You know, obviously if you're going to take screenshots and zoom in, you can see what's going on in my private life, but yeah, it's been fun. I am enjoying using my stickers and all my washi tape and pulling out all my paints. So I am going to keep my June mood so far, mood tracker, more private. You can't see, haha. But this is the first sketch over 2 days, May 31st and June 1st. A rabbit in a mesh top, because I've been in that knit along. The Discord server, James and Watts's knit along, the Discord server is very active and fun. So been looking at lots of mesh lately. And then I love jackrabbits, so there's a jackrabbit, little mixed media bunny. And then spending tracker, I'm also not going to let you look at, but you can see this weird guy. I took Hazel up to the grazing festival in Paradise, which is a festival where we celebrate goats and their amazing ability to mow down lots of flammable plant material. We have lots of fires up here. The campfire, which is like the 4th largest acreage fire in California state history, started in my town. And then the hometown, or the town close by here that my husband grew up in, burned to the ground, Paradise, in the campfire. That was the park fire a couple of years ago. The campfire, this last campfire in 2018. Anyway, fire's an issue. So I had goats. We went and saw some goats. And I love goats, so I wanted to draw a goat. And I love third eye, lotus position shit. So I don't know what that symbol is back there, but oh, the stickers. The stars are stickers. They are shiny. So, and then I asked Hazel what he wanted me to draw, and he said a ghost. So there's a ghost, and I'm going to put like a haunted house background on him. So this is, I did the goat over June 2nd and 3rd, and today is the 4th, and there's the ghost. And here's my notes for today. Look, I took notes. So anyway, the sketchbook is going well. I'm enjoying it. And so related to that, I'll kind of get into like my buy less goal here. I like to have access to lots of materials when I, like, obviously sketching is pencil and pens, but then I like to do a lot of mixed media when I color things. I like having pencils, crayons, markers, etc., etc. Watercolor, paint, acrylic paint, but that's a bit more of a hassle. So, I started looking on like Amazon and the internet for like little cases, like any like toiletry cases or just little nice little travel cases that I could pack all my stuff in together, because I have like little individual pencil cases and pen cases. I have like a portfolio where you can put little things in, like stickers and things in the little sleeves, and I love that for when I take my letter writing stuff on the go, but even then it's kind of limited. You really have to pick and choose your supplies and colors before you leave the house. And then I also didn't like, with any of these solutions that I currently have, that they don't transfer well. Like, you know, there's those little telescoping pencil bag case things that like you unzip the top and then you like slip it down and then it becomes a little cup holder. I wanted something that was kind of convertible like that, where I didn't have to keep moving things back into my pencil cups on my desk when I wasn't traveling with them. I knew that being able to bring my sketchbook around the house with me was going to encourage me to sketch more. So I was shopping around, window shopping, for various things, and I was like, any number of these would be a better solution than what I have, but still not perfect. And don't want to spend a lot of money, but I also don't want something cheap. What can I do with what I have? So this was my great grandma's, her toiletry case, and I've got paint on it. Obviously, I've used this to hold art supplies of various, like it held all my paints at one point, acrylic paints. I use it when I go to markets. It's great storage. It pops open and displays prints well. But I haven't used it in a while since I haven't been doing markets. So what I did was made my own little travel art kit. So I like looking at it. It's so colorful and fun. So I have, let me see if I can hold it and show you. There we go. Okay. So I have my pastas here. I have my watercolor, travel watercolor case. I have my Faber-Castell crayon case. I have all of my little Japanese highlighters and like double-sided liner pens. I'm trying to find one that has a fun. This one has like flowers. I don't know if you can see that at all, but one side is a pen and one side is like you roll it and it creates a thing. I have my Tombow markers, I have my watercolor pencils, I have all my other just regular old color pens, I have my travel watercolor brushes, which has the water in them, and then you just squeeze it out onto your, oh my god, this is heavy, getting out onto your palette. And then I have my stickers. And I have some washi tape. So there it all is. I tuck my washi tape up here when it's open on my desk, and I have access to a bunch of my pens. I have more Poscas than this, but these are the ones I use most frequently. Everything else is everything. As far as like my markers and pens and things. I have all of my favorite micron and writing pens, but these ones I like to ink my drawings with, the micron pens. And then I love to do highlights with my white gel pen. That's Jelly Roll brand. I got this little calligraphy pen in Japan that I love. And a pencil. It's good to have pencils. And I have my mechanical pencil in here too, I think. So anyway, I'm really proud of this. And yeah, I just happen to have a really cool container. Which makes it even better. So yeah, that's a win as far as not spending money and using what I have and making it more useful than even any of those purchasable options would have been. So that's a big win. Drinking water. Water is good. As far as what else I spent my money on, I bought a silver platter at the thrift store to do some spell work with, and some candles to also do some spell work with, and some Florida water because that comes up a lot. And I've found there's a place here in town, the Enchanted Boutique, that has that as a good ingredient for more like conjure hoodoo stuff. I bought yarn. Yeah. So those are some things that I needed for some specific spells I want to do. I have mixed feelings about spending money on spell work. I particularly value using, you know, I value using what I have with everything. But sometimes if you want to do something super specific, you need specific things. So I've got something in mind that I want to do something specific with. So I bought some stuff. Similarly with yarn, all my purchases this so far have not been impulse purchases. They've been things that I've been thinking about for a while and have wanted. I bought Hazel some books also that I've been wanting to get him for a while. So I do feel like I've been able to like manage the impulse purchases a little better so far. We're only a couple days into the month of June. But and last month was not great as far as impulse spending went. But yarn, so we can talk a little bit about what I have coming up in the queue. So I want to make, of course, I don't have any of this written down, which is just great. The baby dragonfly sweater by one of those Scandi country designers. So bad. It's a pattern I've had forever, and I didn't get enough yarn to start it from Knit Picks. I showed the yarn last time, so I needed a few more balls of a couple of those colors to make Hazel the next size up. I'm not convinced I'm going to need to use them all, but I'm trying to just trust the pattern. So, William Blake, leave that plastic bag alone. Hazel went to the dentist today for his first time. He did so good, and he got a little plastic goodie bag. William Blake. Okay, good. William Blake likes to eat plastic. Makes me nervous. Oh my god, that cat is trying to stick his head in the bag. You know that's like a suffocation hazard, right, cat? Anyway, okay, yarn. So I bought, after finishing this boatneck batwing, I was like, I want to make more summer tops. I only have a couple of summer tops, and they're not really that comfortable to wear in summer. One of them is a Noro silk blend, and it's a little hot, and then my other one is knit with mohair, and that is not summery at all and scratchy. I really don't like working with mohair or wearing mohair. So it's the cutest, though, cutest pink short sleeve roll neck turtleneck top. And I love it, but I never want to wear it. So I want to actually knit some things that I want to wear in the summer. Fortunately, summer knits are quick because they tend to be smaller. But I also have been obsessing over, oh, that reminds me. Another art related thing I did recently. So I've been catching up on Knit Nut Chit Chat, which is Jessie Maed Designs and Park and Knit Designs. Their podcast, and they're friends with James and Watts, who I talk about, have been talking about constantly, wearing his design. They have a podcast together, and they just did a summer knits, like that was like their knitting topic. And so all three of these people have a lot of summer knits to choose from. Anyway, I'm getting sidetracked. In the episode I was listening to, Park referred to the other two as Jessie and James, and ding, 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 my mind immediately went to Team Rocket, and I had this vision of all three of them as Team Rocket, Jessie and James, and then Park as Meowth. So I drew that because I'm a total nerd, and drew it, inked it, threw it into Pixlr, and did some really rushed coloring. Cat's chasing a fly now. In Pixlr because I don't have a tablet anymore, but I made it work. I don't even have a mouse. I have a touch pad on my computer. It turned out okay, I think. I think it turned out pretty good. Anyway, they liked it. I will share that, a link or something to that, I guess. But yeah, so that happened. But anyway, what was I saying? Oh, summer knits. So these three people have lots of great summer knits. So I'm going to one of the first patterns I ever bought actually was by Jessie Maed and or May, and um, it's the Ripple Bralette. And the first time I made it, I was a very tight knitter and I made it way too small for myself, so I gave it to my niece. And I obviously still have the pattern and would like to make myself another one to wear under this. So so I ordered some yarn from Knit Picks for that, and it's kind of a mottled green. I don't remember exactly which one I bought, but I'll show it when it comes. It should be here at the end of this week, I think. Um, and yeah, so I bought some fingering weight yarn for that, and then I ordered some Kotlin for Parks. I don't know if I remember the name of the top, but it's a garter crop top tank, and it's super cute, and it looks the profile, is that the right word? The cut of it is identical to a top I got in Japan that I am obsessed with. It's so comfortable. It fits me amazingly. I can wear it to bed. I can wear it out. It's super cute. And this garter stitch top that Park has designed in profile is like identical to this top. So I like measured that and figured out what I wanted, and I'm going to knit a cotton linen blend. Kotlin from Knit Picks in a like rust brown. So, which I think will also go well with this. So yeah, so those two are yarn for those two projects are coming, and then I got 3 skeins of Felici, which is the self-striping sock yarn by Knit Picks. I love a self-striping sock yarn. It makes socks go so much faster, and I think I'm going to utilize my new technique of just knitting a tube and then cutting in afterthought heels and toes, because I am loving my socks that I just finished in that using that method. So easy peasy. I don't remember exactly which colorways I got, but I know I got Sanderson, which is a reference to the Sanderson sisters of Hocus Pocus. It's in Halloween colors, and I love to do a Halloween sock every year and a Christmas sock every year. So, yeah. So yeah, that's and then there's the additional yarn for the baby dragonfly. So that's everything I've spent money on. That isn't like groceries, or I did get the car washed. We do that once a month because the car is like new to us, and we adore that thing, and we are like babying it a little bit. Also, we park underneath this crepe myrtle tree. We think it's a crepe myrtle, and it drops like there's like a grime, a film of grime on the car that happens every like throughout the summer. It's so gross. So it really, if we want to maintain it, it probably like should be cleaned more frequently. And I like the car wash because it's entertaining for Hazel, and I assume it's a more efficient use of resources than me just out there with a hose. I have no idea. I know it's doing a better job anyway. Um, so yeah, I want to get back to body mod, my body mod section. I last time I think I talked about my cracked heels. Gross. Everything I've been doing has been working. So I've started scrubbing, like pumicing my feet in the shower, and then I put on that like Dr. Scholl's heel crack repair and socks after every shower and every night at bed. And I try to wear socks throughout the day unless I'm going out and want to wear sandals specifically, which I often do because it's hot. We had our first couple of 100-degree days last week. Not acceptable. Before June. It's been much cooler this week. I can handle the 90s. I love the low 90s. I will even say that. Like, summer in the low 90s is totally doable. It's hot, but it's doable. I even like it a little bit. But high 90s and hundreds, no thanks. Anyway, so yeah, my feet are happier. Just have to baby them, I guess. Something more glamorous than correct heels. If you notice, I have sparkle on my face. Can you see that? I even put a little bit on my chest. I don't know if you can see that, but I love to wear these sparkles, and Hazel likes to wear them too. Wear it too sometimes, and it is called unicorn snot. I love this stuff. I don't remember what Bio Glitter Body and Face. They make a sunscreen. It's very expensive. I don't remember how much. I think this was like $20. It has lasted me over almost a year now. And there is quite a lot left in here. I think I've maybe used half of it. And I put it on like every time I put on makeup, which is sometimes 0 times a week, sometimes every day a week. I don't wear makeup every day, but when I do, I always put on some unicorn snot. Sometimes I will just put on unicorn snot. You can get it most places in like makeup places, I think. I don't know. Go to their website. You can also buy it from their website. They've got sparkly lip glosses, which I don't like as much. I really like my lips to stay. It's rubbing off a little bit, but I like Maybelline's matte. What is it called? Matte lip something. It comes in like a stick, like a. Wow, this is really not good podcasting. It's not a lipstick. It is a lipstick, but it's not like in a lipstick tube. It's like you put it on with an applicator. Anyway, but the lip gloss, Unicorn Snot lip gloss, does not stay on. You have to constantly reapply it. It's annoying. But this stuff is great. So there's some fun body mod stuff. I wanted to talk about my PRs. I mentioned I threw out my back. So that sucks. But on that day that I threw out my back, I got my unassisted pull-up personal record, PR, personal record, of only 85 pounds on the assist for my 1 rep max. Pretty proud of that. That would put me at over 100 pounds of my own body weight. Yep. Under 100 pounds, sorry, excuse me. Under 100 pounds of my own body weight, which is like a milestone for sure. It's about 80, 90 pounds of my own body weight. So I'm like half using my own body weight now and half getting assistance. Does that make sense? The way the assisted pull-up machine works, I had to explain this to my dad. You add weight to offset your body weight so that you can pull yourself up. So I weigh 175. I put 85 pounds on the assisted, like on the offset, so that I'm only lifting 90 pounds. Yeah, that all makes sense, right? Anyway, yeah, that's not half my body weight. Well, 85 and 90, it's like close. Anyway, it's close to half. Yeah, it's totally close to half. So yeah, that's a big win. Exciting to see progress happen quickly. Um, yeah, and then I think that machine starts at 114 is the max that you can offset. So 20 pounds difference is pretty good in just about a month of doing this. So I'm still working on my pistol squats. I'm still working on my push-ups. I'm still doing the able to do the 11, but improvement. I was kind of, it's hard to show, where I was like this and now I can go all the way down like this when I do my push-ups. Like I used to have to stop here. Now I can do a full 90 degrees. So that's also an improvement. Go me. Um oh, another thing. So I don't remember if I mentioned that I hired a dietitian. So I need a little bit of extra help. I would like to lose some more weight in a healthy, not diety way. Um, because I know that um, I tend to eat more than my body physically needs in the evenings in particular, and I like want someone to talk to about that and like help me, help me stop doing that. I've mentioned before, these are my coping mechanisms for boredom and irritation: shopping and eating. Um, and there are more productive ways to deal with those things than shopping and eating. And so first of all, my dietitian was like, you need more protein. And I've been vegan for almost a year and a half, and my nails have been really weak since I made that switch. I've taken vegan biotin and vegan collagen and stuff to try to help. Nothing's helped. Focusing on getting my protein, 80 grams plus a day, massive improvement. My nails are no longer cracking, they're no longer breaking. Like, I just trimmed them the other day, and not because I had to trim back breaks. So amazing. They're not painted currently, but yeah, so that's a massive improvement. Make sure you're eating your protein, people. Protein is very good for you for so many reasons. There's some headline that like we're getting too much protein. And honestly, I think that's because people who are obsessed with their macros are not counting the things that aren't on food labels. Um, and most Americans who eat meat do tend to get enough protein, especially if they're eating meat all day, every day. Um, but I know that I'm actually getting more protein than I'm accounting for, because I'm just putting like the same things I eat every day I've calculated, and then I check the nutrition label. And if there isn't a nutrition label, I just put a question mark. If I have a guesstimate of how much, like if there's chickpeas or if there is an obvious protein source in there. But like, the proof is in the pudding. The proof is in the nails. Like, I know I'm getting enough protein now, just because of that massive improvement I've seen in the last 2 weeks. Um, and again, it's just making a conscious effort and putting hemp seeds in everything. So there's a tip. I put hemp seeds in my protein shake. I put hemp seeds in my peanut butter. I put hemp seeds in um, my egg salad, my tofu egg salad that I love to have on my bagels. There's 6 grams of protein in my homemade bagels, because there's so much flour in those. So yeah, it's that's been a massive improvement there. And then my dietitian gave me some tips on like how to deal with the boredom and anxious eating that I sometimes do. And a lot of it's like habit. I would come home from school and sit on the couch and eat a bag of chips and watch TV. So things like that. Like, these are the things that I'm just trying to do better by my body, for my body, and not like give it more than it needs, or like try to solve the problem with food. I'd rather have. So we came up with some other like ways to help me slow down, and things to help me um, siphon off the anxious energy and the irritated energy at the end of the day. The tired, grumpy bit that is often like satiated with crunchy food. Um, so yeah, so I'm gonna try to keep like a scribble pad in the kitchen where I can just like color, scribble. I'm gonna try to keep gum in the kitchen, and I'll let you know how these things go. Let me know if that's um of interest to you. I do feel really weird talking about weight loss in a more public forum like this. I talked about this a little bit last time, but yeah, weight loss is a really touchy subject. Um, I have been all over the map as far as my beliefs on why we should lose weight, how we should lose weight, should we even lose weight, try to lose weight. But where I am right now is that for me personally, I know that like I feel better in my body if I make certain decisions around food and movement, and that those have a direct effect on that number on the scale, and that the number on the scale is just a very easy way to like keep track of if my habits are in alignment with where I want to be. So that's where I'm at these days. So that's where my goals are oriented on all that. Yeah, I would love to talk about um, the bullshit in the weight loss industry and in the um, body image stuff. Oh my God, there's so much to talk about there. Yeah, I won't get into it now. I'll just say one thing. You, like, hating your body is not the way to, like, lose weight. It feels backwards, but if you want it to, like, be sustainable and healthy, then you have to, like, come at it from a loving your body way, loving your body standpoint. This is what I firmly believe. Um, yeah, and loving it feels weird because, like, for me, I feel like, well, if I love and accept myself, I'm not going to want to make any changes. That's not actually true. You're like, I get into a self-defeating cycle if I come at it from a self-deprecating or a self-hate angle, um, because that like turns into perfectionism for me, and that turns into yeah, it's just a negative cycle that ends up happening. So I, over the last few years, have really been trying to come at it from a different angle, and it's a longer process, but in the long term, it feels more sustainable, and it feels like the changes are sticking in a different way. So anyway, on to my consumer reports. I did talk about my unicorn snot. Love that purchase. Would buy again. But consumer reports as far as like media. So I finished reading Mother God by Sylvia Browne. I liked it. It was okay. It was weird. It was, she's a Gnostic Christian. She's a psychic. She, started her own church in San Jose, California. Um, she talks a lot about Asna, Mother God, Asna being the female principle of the Christian God. Um, as a former evangelical, it was weird for me to read this book because it doesn't look much like the Christianity I grew up with. So it's eye opening and interesting to see that there's other ways to do Christianity. Um, Although the argument could be made, is that really Christianity? It's definitely not traditional. Um, but I also got kind of a sense of like a gumball machine god, if you're familiar with that terminology. The cosmic gumball machine, that like if you just pray to this, if you just do it right, you'll get what you want, you get what you need. And it's really hard to escape that in any kind of spirituality, because I think a big reason why humans want to interact with the divine is to get what we want and affect change and ask for help with the things that we need help with. We want some sense of control and help. We want of course we want things to change for our better, for our good. Um so that's just been something that I've been dealing with, especially through my recent spiritual path, and throughout my whole life, really, just trying to figure out what role does God play in our lives, if not to provide something. And when God doesn't deliver, what does that mean? So anyway, it was an interesting kind of thought experiment to dwell in that. I picked it up because I'm interested in learning more about this goddess principle, this goddess idea, and she equated a lot of the goddesses with representing the female principle of God, which is also something that I'm into lately. Like all these deities, I feel like they're touching on something. We're trying to describe God as limited beings, and like from a Christian perspective, even Jesus is extremely limited, like self-limited as a human. So like Jesus can't even capture the entirety of what God is. Um, and so, I had a thought like, well, what if all these deities are similarly aspects of God? Why can't that be the case? And that's kind of been my approach into working with deities, kind of tiptoeing into that a little bit. Yeah, I'm still not like gung ho about it, but I'm experimenting with it. So, that book was interesting. Whatever. I'm listening to now my book club book, The Sea of Unspoken Things. I finished listening to Heir of Fire, which was good. I will continue that series. Um, I don't know if I just like am kind of over it or what, but I don't know. Throne of Glass really isn't like gripping me as much as ACOTAR, that's for sure. Um, and yeah, Heir of Fire supposedly is when it like really picks up, and I'm like, yeah, okay. I'm still not sold. Maybe it's because there's not like a romantic love story that is keeping my attention. Anyway, speaking of that, Sea of Unspoken Things by Adrienne Young. I was talking to one of the members of my book club, and we're both like, what is with all of these women who are just constantly denying themselves what they clearly want, which is this man who for some reason is always blonde, but she and I are always picturing them with like brunette hair. We just like dark haired men. I don't know. Um, but yeah, all these like, you see this with Feyre, you see this with so many of these lead female characters. We've read a couple of books in the book club that have this trope where she's just like, no, I made other choices. I can't be with this person. It would just derail my whole life. I don't want to, I'm going to put my career first. When it's like, no, duh, you can do both, bitch. Come on. It's just ask. Just have the conversation. Stop not saying anything. Which, I mean, this book is called A Sea of Unspoken Things, so that's kind of a theme, is like lack of communication. That's a huge theme in the book. Um, but yeah, we're now on an unofficial quest to find a strong female character who does not carry the toxically masculine, the toxic masculine trait of denying one's feelings to get through life. In movies slash TV, we have, what movies have we watched recently? I don't know. I only have TV shows written down. So we watched the first season of Dark Winds. It was disappointing. Um, but we also watched the second season of The Rehearsal, which, if you're familiar at all with Nathan Fielder's previous projects, um, it took me a long time to get on his wavelength. I did not understand or like what he was about with Nathan For You. The first season of The Rehearsal was also very uncomfortable for me. I was like, I don't know if I like this, but by the time this season came around, I was like, I'm on your level now, dude. I see what you're doing. I'm also prepared to not ever be able to see what you're doing until it happens and then get blindsided every episode. So he's a comedian. It is the driest sense of humor. Like awkward, like uncomfortable, but so good, so well crafted. And like everything he does, the show is fascinating and does not end where it begins. Um, yeah, I enjoyed every moment of it. So we watched The Rehearsal season 2. We started watching White Lotus season 3. I loved the first season of White Lotus. I think I had higher expectations for the second season and was a little disappointed, which I think has led me to be able to enjoy this season more because I have lower expectations and I'm like just here for the rich bastards being terrible. And also wishing I was them and could go on these fancy wellness vacations in Thailand. So yeah, that show. This season has been really fun to watch the um, interpersonal dynamics between all these little groups. We have some predictions of the weirdness that will ensue in this episode or in this season. But yeah, we'll see. Yeah, what have you been watching and loving and enjoying? Yeah, tell me what shows you're liking, what books you're reading, if you're made it this far. I think I got 23 views last I checked on my last video. I have no idea how long any of those even watched, but thank you people for, checking it out. Um, I'm mostly here because I enjoy the format. I enjoy having a little bit of accountability for myself to keep working on my projects and keep checking in on my projects and my goals. So yeah, that's why I'm here. Um, and also, I think it's really important to use the tools we have to cure global loneliness. That's a goal of a podcast that I still love. Have not listened to really since my son was born, but that's Too Beautiful to Live, TBTL. It is a whole world in and of itself. It's an audio podcast. They have videos on YouTube now, though. They recently went independent. They've been on the air for 15 years. Is that right? No. 13 years? 2008, I think, is when it started. So 15 years. No, more than that. 18. Oh my God, 18 years? No. God, I can't do math. 2018 would be 10 years. Plus 7, 17 years. God damn. It's a long time, boys. I started listening to them like 5 or 6 years ago. It's Luke Burbank, who is a NPR CBS Sunday morning guy, and Andrew Walsh, who is also a radio guy. And then they, like I said, they recently went independent. They started on the radio and then became a podcast and then have just kind of built an amazing community of humans around them who love listening to them blather on for an hour every day. They're Monday through Friday. And yeah, I think the biggest it's the sense of like community and like you're just hanging out with your friends that I love about it. It's such comfort listening. Um and curing global loneliness has kind of been their from the beginning a goal of theirs, just to like provide community, provide a space, make you feel less alone. So I think that the more of that we can put out there, the better. um Obviously there needs to be space for dialogue on more difficult topics. There needs to be space held for all everything. We need a space for all kinds of things, but um I also think that spaces like this where we just talk about what's going on in our lives and things we're excited about, I think is edifying and good to put out there. So yeah, so here I am adding, here's my contribution to that effort. And there was a little bonus rec for you. Too Beautiful to Live, TBTL, great audio podcast. Jump in anywhere, give it a couple of days, and you'll get in the inside jokes. Things will start clicking. But as far as another knitting crafty podcast for you to check out next, I highly recommend Black Sheep Knits. She doesn't record as regularly as she promises she will. But that's okay. I get very excited every time I see one of her episodes come through my feed. She's in Wisconsin, Madison, I want to say. But I love her knits and I love her personality, and I think we'd be friends. So, yeah. So, would recommend Black Sheep Knits. And with that, I will let you get on with your day. Thank you for hanging out with me, and I will talk to you later. Bye.